Hi, my name is Michelle Martinez Chadram, and I'm a bilingual speech and language pathologist. I work at Children's Hospital Colorado, and I work with Dr. Nicole Tartaglia in the X and Y Clinic. So today I'd like to go ahead and share this presentation with you. It's called First Giggles to First Words, and it's all about trying to enhance your child's play skills and their language skills, especially at a very early age. What we're going to be talking about is from birth to 3 years of age. So within this period, we typically call from birth to 3 years of age when we talk about intervention, it's called early intervention. So this type of intervention, one of the key components is that it's parent focused. And there's different ways that we can provide early intervention. It could be in the home, which we call home-based therapy. It could be also in a clinic setting, a hospital setting, a private practice, and or telehealth too. So one of the main components in early intervention, like I said, is parent involvement. So that's the main and most meaningful component in early intervention. Parent and caregivers, they play such an important role in this intervention in this time period. And we teach play through play and language strategies. All these strategies can be practiced in daily activities, such as bath time, changing, and then all those play times that we're with our child. One of the programs that I really have found helpful and beneficial to teach parents, it's called the Hannon Program, and it's a program based out of Canada. And they have different programs that target different things. For example, especially within this age group, between early intervention, birth to 3 years of age, the program that the Hannon program that targets this age range it's called It Takes Two to Talk. So this Hannon program, it's parent focused, and it's just really talking about all those daily activities and the play routines that we use to enhance both play and language strategies. The Hannon program also offers other programs such as called the Target Word and then More Than Words. So they have different programs targeting specific language disorders, also social communication disorders as well. So the main component of the Hannon program, especially It Takes Two to Talk, again, it's trying to empower families and trying to help them foster language development within the home. Okay, so right now I'd like to show you a video which is going to talk about a little bit about the parent involvement in these programs, especially the Hannon program, and for this age group, it's called It Takes Two to Talk.
Hi there, my name is Danielle Bowden, and I'm a speech-language pathologist with the Hannon Center. Today I'm going to talk to you about the important role that parents play in their child's language development. You may find this information helpful if you feel like you're worried about your child's language development, or if you've just discovered that your child has a language delay and you'd like to offer them the best possible support. Here at the Hannon Center, we believe that parents are and should be their child's best language teacher, and we're here to help you do just that. It all started back in the 70s, when it was almost unheard of for parents to have a role in their child's early language intervention. Instead, speech-language pathologists would often offer therapy for about 1 hour a week, and it was often done behind closed doors where the parents had little or no knowledge of what happened inside. This left parents in a position of having little or no role in providing the special support that their child needed. As you can imagine, there was a major gap in this type of language intervention because it didn't take into account how and when children learn language best. Research shows that children don't learn language by being taught. Instead, they learn language by having natural everyday interactions with the most important adults in their lives. So what this means is that when you're talking to your child while you're walking to the park, or when you're talking to your child while you brush their teeth, you're giving them all the language that they need to learn. So your role in supporting your child's early language development is so very important because you spend more time interacting and talking to your child than your speech-language pathologist ever could. Because of this, you have so many more opportunities to help your child to learn and use language, like when they're getting in the bathtub or if you're out in the backyard playing. And your child is most comfortable with you. Learning from you is natural. They've been learning from you since the day they were born. One of the most important elements in helping your child to learn language is to build on his interests and preferences. And who knows your child better than you? It's no surprise to learn that research shows parents who do this are as effective, or in some cases even more effective, than a speech-language pathologist in supporting their child's language development. This makes sense when you think about it. It's just as effective, or even more effective, because your child is getting language intervention every day, many times a day, during their everyday interactions with you. And because of this, your child won't even realize that they're learning. So by working with your child's speech-language pathologist, the therapy will be focused on helping you, the parent, get the knowledge and skills you need to support your child's language development. Here at the Hannon Center, we help parents, like you, take on this role in helping their child to communicate. If you're interested in finding a Hannon-certified speech-language pathologist who runs programs and offers the Hannon approach in their everyday work, please click on Find a Hannon Speech-Language Pathologist on our homepage. I hope you found this information helpful, and feel free to leave a comment or a question here if you have any. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Hannon videos.
So after seeing the video and realizing how much parents play an important role in early intervention, what we were talking in the video was talking about this early intervention. It's family focused and it's family driven, because all these strategies that the therapist can be a speech language pathologist, we target these language strategies and teach these strategies to empower families. And we want them to be implemented throughout their daily activities. Like, for example, bath time would be a great time to teach vocabulary, and then also all the play routines. If you're playing with cars or playing with blocks, we can use all these strategies to trying to implement these strategies and practice these strategies within all the daily routines that we do throughout the day. So one way early intervention is really important that helps the therapists help families and caregivers interact with their children is that we want the interactions to be meaningful. So, and one of the ways to have a meaningful interaction with your child throughout these daily activities and play routines, one of the things that we like to teach is that we play face-to-face, just have face-to-face interactions. And when we're able to have face-to-face interactions, we can play at the eye level of the child, so we can actually kind of see what they're interested in. Because when we're playing eye to eye with them, we're able to follow their interests. And once we see what the child is interested in, that interaction is going to be more meaningful because they're going to be interested in playing with that object or that toy instead of us as a parent or a therapist trying to kind of push our own agenda. Like if a child wants to play with cars and we think, okay, now we have to try to read a book, it would be a more meaningful interaction and probably a longer lasting interaction if we follow their interest in play. Another strategy when we're playing eye to eye, playing at eye level with your child is we kind of observe what they're doing. We're able to do it better, sitting down with them. We're at their eye level. We observe what they're doing. We kind of wait to kind of see what they're going to do with the toy. And then we listen to see if they're going to make a sound or use a word to kind of explain what they're doing. So when we're doing this, we're trying to be an in-tune parent or an in-tune play partner too. And we can do that by trying to do all those little strategies, playing at the eye level, following their interests in play, and using that observe, wait, and listen strategy, and then really allowing them plenty of wait time. just kind of waiting to see if they're going to say a sound or say a word. A lot of times we jump in and we don't give children enough time to kind of just express what they'd like to say or what they'd like to do in a play interaction. So face-to-face interactions also allow the caregiver, the parent, to we can interpret how the child is communicating. So if we're at their eye level, we can actually see what they're looking at, and we can say, if they don't have the words, "Oh, I see you're looking at the fire truck." Or so you can kind of interpret. You can be their own, and you can be an interpreter and trying to give them the words that they don't have or the sounds to try to tell you what they're looking at or what they're interested in. You can also become an active and observant play partner with your child. These are, like I was mentioning before, we want to be an in-tune parent or an in-tune play partner, and just really be in the moment with that child and trying to enjoy that moment, and trying to use these strategies to really have fun with them. And then also, again, the face-to-face interactions, you learn how to imitate the child. And also, for example, if he's building blocks, then you can imitate what he's doing. You try to interpret, again, like I said, interpret what they might want to say about the toy or the interaction. And then you can add language when you're playing with your child. For example, if you're building blocks and they're just stacking, you can just use a word up, 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 just adding that language to make the interaction just more exciting. So the importance of play and language skills. Language and play skills grow at the same time. So it's really at this age too, from birth to 3 years of age, we want to try to join and play because children learn language through play. So we want to try to be a good play partner. We want to use lots of fun sounds, fun words, silly words like zip or zoom, lots of animal sounds. And then I always like to say, I like to start with sounds, sometimes before words even, because sounds are easier to put together instead of the full word. So if you pair a sound with an action, for example, if you're rolling a car on the ground or the floor and you just go rum 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 or beep 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 beep, so all those little sounds really help give the child practice to put the sounds together to say words. And again, with all these sounds, the more sounds that a child hears, that's going to help them start to imitate the sounds to help them make the words. So again, when I was mentioning play skills and language skills grow at the same time, there's lots of opportunities throughout the day through play, because at this age, children play all day. So within play routines, we can really take advantage of play throughout the day. And one way we can do that is having establish a routine within a play interaction. So, for example, in the slide, we have these children playing a tea party. So we can have kind of the same routine. If you start out with a teapot and you kind of pour the water in, and then you maybe stir with a little pretend spoon, and then at the end you can have your cup and goo goo goo. And if you have the same steps, you keep the same steps in the routine, that allows your child to kind of know the steps within the routine, so they're not guessing at what's going to come next. So once you have an established routine, they know the steps within the routine, and then you can put the words or the sounds within each step, just like, for example, the cup, goo, goo, goo. They know when they get the cup, they're at that stage, that same, the step in the routine, they know they're going to tip it up, goo, 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 make the sound. And then that allows them to have their turn in the play routine. And also it allows you to plan your turn to as a play partner. So what I was saying too before, just caregivers are a key to adding language and play. All these play routines throughout the day that we can practice. There's one video that I'd like to show now that, again, kind of confirms that parents play such a key part in play interactions and helping their child learn language through play.
It's an exciting time when you are waiting for your child to say her first words. You might be wondering if there's something you can do to help her learn to talk. And there is, because you are the key to your child's first words. Your child is learning language every day when the two of you spend time together. And research shows us that the more often you respond to your child and talk about his interests, the earlier you are likely to hear his first words. You know your child better than anyone else does. This means that you know what interests her and what she'll want to talk about. And because you spend time with your child every day, you have many opportunities for conversation. It really doesn't matter what you are doing together or what toy you are playing with. What matters are the interactions you have with your child and that you talk about whatever it is that's caught her attention. By having fun together, showing an interest in what your child is doing, and using words during these moments, your child will be well on his way to learning his first words.
So after we watched that video, again, it's about the caregivers play such a key component in helping their child learn language. With that in mind, caregivers and family, they interpret what another strategy is that we interpret what our child might say and play. For example, if your child is playing stacking blocks, again, the example that I made, you can kind of be their interpreter. And if they're just kind of stacking blocks and they're pretty quiet, you can kind of say, oh, we're going to make a tower, up, up, up. So you kind of give them the words within that play interaction. And then you can use the same words for the same things and play. So, for example, if you have blocks and you can always make a tower, you can always make a train. You want to keep, it's kind of that same familiar words, and then you don't want to change it up all the time. So you want to use the same words. For example, like a cup or a glass, something like that. I would always say, if you have a play routine, I would use the same word for cup. Oop, here we're gonna, play tea. Let's use the cup. Let's get the teapot. So use the same words and label items the same way in the routine instead of changing it up. And then within play, again, use lots of nouns, labeling your toys, labeling your actions. Typically, nouns come before action words. For example, the cup, oh, we drink from a cup. But so labeling, then the action words come next, and then using descriptive words, like all those adjectives, like the orange cup or the pink cup or the big cup. So thinking about how we label and how we describe what's happening in the play routine, and trying to keep all those words pretty similar especially within those practiced play routines. So again, kind of to recap some of these strategies that are kind of key that you can use within play, I just like to keep it nice and simple. So sometimes I just use nouns and just label things, block or car, ball. Sometimes I find it's really nice that if we say less, because a lot of kiddos, I think, if we talk too much, it's too much. It's kind of an overload for them. So if we keep it nice and simple, we say less. We emphasize sounds and words, single words. I think that really helps to make to be a good play partner and to make the interaction fun. and also just kind of go slow and show them what you're doing and what you're talking about. I think a lot of times when we interact with children, especially if we find that they have a language delay, we ask a lot of questions because we want to teach them. Because like in a book, like what's this or what color is this? There's been studies, like the Hannon program has done studies before, saying that children actually learn language more through statements and by showing them, making statements instead of asking questions. So again, to review, like I was saying before, language skills grow at the same time as play skills. So some of the different types of play, we can kind of break it down into different ways, but play can be kind of sectioned apart into functional play, where it's like we have a car, we roll the car. Functional play is we know what to do with things. So a pop-up toy, we know how to hit the button to have the face pop up. We have a cup, we pretend to drink from a cup. Construction play is more of kind of manipulating toys appropriately to either make a sand castle, you're moving things around, you're stacking blocks, you're actually doing things more with the toys, and pretending to just kind of build, if you have big blocks like a house or anything like that. And then pretend play is where we, of course, like in that tea party, that picture where we are pretending to pour, tea from the teapot into a cup. So it's actually the pretend play, really when we start seeing pretend play spontaneously after we modeled it, and I always like to start with pretending to feed something, like pretending to feed a stuffed animal, pretending to give it some water, and then putting it down for a nap. Those three things really correlate with first words when we start seeing a kiddo do pretend play just kind of on their own. So another thing that we like to use in early intervention and to help children just learn language, again, it's through play, but we use a lot of books too. So books for language are great because we can actually start trying to show kiddos, what books are for. We like to choose books with bright colors. I always like this Brown Bear book. Lots of animal books, interactive books, books with flaps, books that when you press buttons, they light up or you hear songs. So any type of books with rhymes, rhythm, and repetition, like a lot of the Brown Bear books, the Eric Carle books have the same kind of like Brown Bear, what do you see? So again, it's that predictability and that pattern. So once kiddos know that pattern within the book, that kind of frees them up to kind of start trying to use those sounds and words that they've heard throughout the book. And I also tell parents too, with books, books are really important, but some kiddos really don't like to sit and look at a book. So I kind of follow the kiddos' lead, like I mentioned before, with some of the strategies. If you are at their eye level, you kind of follow their lead, what they're interested in. Some kiddos like to put, just open and close the book. You can do that. You can put the book on your head. You can play peekaboo with the book. So sometimes we use books other than to actually read them. So we try to follow the kiddos' lead and play and to see what they actually want to do with the book. So music is really important too, especially within this age range. It's ideal to help children learn language. And what we do with music, a lot of times in intervention, again, it's those strategies that we talked about before. It's the face-to-face interaction, actually sitting down with them, and trying so that they can see our face, how we're making sounds, how we're forming the words with our mouth. Lots of finger play songs like Itsy Bitsy Spider, or Wheels on the Bus are popular songs. I really like to do songs with finger play actions because that's really an important part to a play skills and language is imitation. So if a kiddo, if you see them, you're trying to do Wheels on the Bus and you're rolling your arms, your hands like the wheels, and they do that too. Imitation sometimes is easier when we imitate gestures. That helps. That imitation of gestures actually helps the imitation of sounds. So those finger play songs are really great to practice. And also music, these finger play songs too, it allows you to take turns with your kiddo too. So you can show them one sign and then you kind of wait and then maybe they can take a turn and they can add on to the song. So it really helps with turn taking. And it again, that wait time that when we do a song with a kiddo, sometimes we can, especially again, one of those established play routines like the music within these songs, sometimes families can choose to do certain steps at the same, just throughout the song. So the wait time, if you would wait long enough and you have that established kind of routine within the song, the kiddo knows what's coming next. So if you wait long enough, they can take a turn too, and they can actually put in the next step in that music routine. So some of the benefits just to participate in early intervention, not only the parents, but the families, just early intervention programs, they've demonstrated that the earlier we start, the more important it is for the children and the better the outcome. So it's just early intervention has demonstrated improved overall academic achievement, behavior, socially emotional regulation, and educational progression in children. So once we start, the earlier we start, the better the outcome for children all around in terms of they're all over development. So, and another key component in early intervention is not only that the parents are the key component too, because the parents, with all the strategies that they're learning from their therapist, and they try to implement within all their daily activities and their play routines, is really to have a good early intervention program with trained and knowledgeable caregivers, such as therapists, speech therapists, occupational therapists, physical therapists. It's nice to have smaller child to staff programs. Out here in Colorado, there's called a HIPPY program, but it's home instruction program for preschool youngsters. So that's a special type of program. Early Head Start programs and Head Start programs where children actually go into, it could be a school or just an early learning center, and kind of like early preschool programs. So usually preschool is from 3 to 5. So this is before starting kind of official preschool at 3. So again, participation in programs like this with trained professionals, really, again, it just gives the kiddo a good start in terms of their language, their play, and their overall development when they're able to participate, their families are able to participate in this type of program. So that's the end of my presentation, but I'd really like the references, I just wanted to go over the Hannon program, It Takes Two to Talk. It's an amazing program. Like I said, it's out of Canada, and they have different types of programs for different ages and different types of language and learning disorders. But I took a lot of the strategies in this presentation from the book It Takes Two to Talk from Hannon, and then just several slides about just the importance of early intervention and the participation, the families participating along with their children, how the outcomes are just improve their overall development. So I would like to thank you for listening to me, and I look forward to answering some questions in the chat. Thank you.